Manchester, England is the backdrop of this Raw, 2 weeks away from Survivor Series. I'm going to say this now. The ending sucked badly. Now, I could build up to it, but like the WWE, there's no point in it because they wanted to do it and I wanted to do this right now. Doesn't mean I'm going to explain myself now. I just wanted to state this. Now, I'm going to probably do a debate of the week. No, I am going to do a debate of the week on Seth Rollins and how they overworked him. And I might do a debate of the week on Naomi. I'm not sure about that because of how I'm feeling right now due to the fact of what happened to her in this show. But I am eventually going to do debate of the week. If it's not this week, it's going to eventually come down the pike. But let's see how this show was in general, building up the Survivor Series. The tournament wasn't a bad idea, but now you wonder, because Seth is actually hurt, this isn't a joke, this is a shoot. It feels like a double thing between the two promotions of WWE and TNA. The difference between WWE, they had no choice but to do this tournament because the guy they put everything in is hurt now. TNA, they did this because their writing is not that good and their budget is even worse. So it's like they're both doing the same thing and it's going to get dragged out. And it kind of feels a little stale, particularly with the WWE. Because since TNA's been doing it, now the WWE is doing it. And it really messes with you. At least with me personally. But did Roman Reigns talk well? Yes, he did. Was the segment of Triple H long-winded? Yes, it was. But it was still necessary for the progression of this new situation they're in. But I really have to say this. Because they let him do it early, the match between him and Big Show, not only did it feel telegraphed, it also felt, it also felt insignificant. Because they put on a good match. They've done it for months now. They've gone up against each other. The problem is there's nothing behind it. Even though this is about getting the title, if you really want to have Triple H say, this guy, I put my stock in Seth Rollins. And now he's gone. I give you the chance to take his spot. Just kiss my ass. Just do it. Kiss it. And you'll get what you want. And he says no. I would have thought that Triple H would drag this out throughout the night and make this a priority. I know that Undertaker and Kane was important, but they could have done this up to the mid-hour. Well, you know, the first hour main event. They could have dragged this out even to the second hour main event and make him very special. But it felt like they did it all in 1 second because they just either ran out of time or just didn't have an idea what to do next with him. So, if that makes any sense to you, great. Alright, Kevin Owens versus Titus O'Neil. The Primetime Players, baby. I am happy to see Titus O'Neil being in this spot, but then I'm sad to see him in this spot because he's not going to get anywhere. And I believe Brian Saxton said this best. Or it might have been JBL. This is his only chance to get a shot at the title. And to be honest, that is the truth. He's not going to get any farther because of how Vince is. So this is the only time we'll actually see him in some type of situation where he gets a shot at a real, honest-to-goodness, major promotions title. And the way the crowd was cheering for him, he could actually go through this. He has a good character. People love him. I never liked that. But in this case, in Manchester, England, the people loved it and it made me interested in seeing it. But in the end, it was Kevin Owens who won. Which I feel sorry for him as well because he's an afterthought right now. Kevin Owens should not be going after the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You know why? Because he needs to be stronger as the Intercontinental Champion. Who is he challenged to make him interesting? Nobody. No matter how much you want to say Dolph is a challenge for him, he was an afterthought. Or Cesaro for that matter. He was an afterthought. But this is interesting. Cesaro versus... Who was Cesaro up against? Oh, Sheamus. Cesaro versus Sheamus. I didn't expect Cesaro to win here. I'm going to be honest here. I didn't suspect that they're going to go with Cesaro. I thought they were just going to go with Sheamus because he's the Money in the Bank winner. But Cesaro won this. But then, what did he really win? Because they built another storyline alongside this one, saying that Bad News Barrett is dealing with, who is the guy's name? Ruby? Or Ruben? Yeah, Ruben. He's a football player, a soccer player. So they're trying to build something along the lines with Sheamus and Bad News Barrett while dealing with Cesaro. Because I have a feeling that Sheamus is going to be trying to mess with Cesaro because he got his ass kicked by him. I could be wrong, but you never know. But it would have been better to keep the two separate. This is about the world title. Bad News Barrett should not be connected to it, or should be adjacent to it. Come on. I felt that it's not bad to see this in England, even though we get this done all the time in America, a European storyline with a famous person with some type of controversy is a good thing. Until you actually have to put it next to something that should not be connected. I just hope that makes some sense. Anyway, the next thing is Alberto Del Rio and Zed Coulter carted them out to do a promo segment. I'll say this. Mex America could get over pretty well, especially in the West Coast. The question is Jack Swagger, because they're going to go there. The way this looks, they're going to eventually go with Jack Swagger versus ADR. I don't want to see it that way, but that's the way it looks to me. I could be 100% wrong. But this storyline must be carried by Jack Swagger. And the question's going to be, can he actually carry this properly? As much as you don't want to hear it, that's what they're going with. So hopefully he can carry it, but we still got more time to discover this. Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. I didn't expect The Miz to win. He's irrelevant now, even though I still love him as a heel. I still believe he's one of the best heels they've had in the last 9 to 10 years. Not counting the older veterans. Just as a new timer, as someone who's brand new into the business. He's been there at least 12 to 13 years at least. As much, well, maybe a little less than John Cena. Maybe about 10 years, I believe. Came out in 2005 compared to Cena, who came out in 2002. So he's been there 10 years. He has always been the most favorite. But he's irrelevant right now, and I didn't expect Dolph not to win. So they tried to do a little knee injury to try and drum up some pops for him. The question is going to be, how far is he going to get into the tournament? I don't believe he's going to be in the last 4. He'll probably be eliminated. Next, Dean Ambrose versus Tyler Breeze. I like Tyler Breeze. I do believe he's a very unique character. But I just don't believe that WWE is going to do anything with him. And look at Dean Ambrose. The what? The nut job that everyone loved at one point last year, instead of pushing him at that time because he was more polished than Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, anyone else. Kevin Owens, he was the most polished. And he's doing absolutely nothing. So it's just sad to see this. It really is. You would hope Dean Ambrose would have something more substantial right now, and he's stuck. And that hurts, you know? Not yet, not yet. I'm not doing it yet. I'm not doing it yet. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm not going to talk about the women yet. Not. New Day versus the Usos and Neville. I love the New Day. I'm going to admit this. I really didn't like their stick. I wanted them to be dark. I wanted them to be evil. But they won me over. I love their segments. I love the... I played Final Fantasy VII. I did. I had a copy, which I don't have anymore, and I don't have my original PlayStation. I should never threw it out when it died, but I always loved that song, that little tune. And I love how Xavier Woods is doing great. They just pull the people in. They're raking in the money, baby. And then we see the Usos and Neville. I am so glad the Usos are back. They do seem to be a little bit out of sync when it comes to their intro. I think they need a little bit of practice. They have not been together in quite a while, for nearly 7 or 8 months, I say. No, say almost 6 to 7 months. So I think they're a little bit out of sync. In the ring, they're fine, but the intro looked a little bit clunky. But here's the thing for me personally. Since this was about Manchester, they had to let Neville shine here. And I felt that was not the right thing to do the way he did it. He literally took out the freaking Usos. When he kicked, I don't remember who he kicked over, I think Xavier Woods, onto the Usos, Jay hurt his shoulder. Even though he's not harmed, they have to be careful because it's easy to tear those muscles in his shoulder again. Getting a separated shoulder is no joke. I met someone at least once in my life, briefly, that talked about having a separated shoulder when he was younger, and it's no fun when you hurt yourself that way. But he wanted to impress so much his own crowd, and WWE let him. I felt that that wasn't necessary. I felt when it came to Neville, he didn't need to take out the freaking Usos to take out the New Day. It's understandable that the New Day won, but then it's like, what? It just didn't feel right. Now we have 3 things left to talk about. Becky versus Paige. Now I didn't expect Becky to win here. I didn't. And she won. Like a heel. You're trying to promote Charlotte and Becky as faces. You're trying to promote... calm yourself. You're trying to promote these 2 women along with Paige in a certain type of archetype, a character. And Becky is a face. Paige is a heel. And when they did their little roll-up and Becky cheats to win, you're going, what the hell? There's a total blurring of the line. Who cares? It's so blurred, you don't know who the heel and who the face is here. And then when you got the Paige tap out on the table, it just makes it even worse. Then Charlotte comes down running the way she did. She's one hell of a big woman right there, dude. She knows how to run. But in the end, I understand why they tried to do this, to try and build up for Charlotte versus Paige. Her very true first feud after receiving the title. But I just felt when it came to Becky, she didn't need to do that. And it actually makes her look worse. Because it makes not a tease that she'll turn heel. Because I don't believe she will turn heel. I don't. I just don't see it. Now, it doesn't mean she won't become a heel eventually. It's just that it looks so forced. It just doesn't make you interested. At least for me. The thing that angered me the most, which probably will promote me to, or prompt me to make a video on Naomi. Naomi versus Natalya. This is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know how I feel about Naomi. You know how I feel about Tamina, Naomi are the most underutilized and underestimated wrestlers they have. As much as people want to say that Tamina cannot wrestle, she can. She doesn't have a bad character because she's just boring. She has a bad character because they don't allow her to go that far. I'm sorry. If she was allowed to have the championship, you would truly see if she can actually sink or swim. And you never got that from her. No matter how many people want to say that Tamina can't act or even to a certain point wrestle, how the hell are you going to care if you're not given the opportunity? I'm sorry. And when you see this situation with Naomi, from what I can tell, Naomi is either going to be going up against Sasha Banks or Natalya is going up against Sasha Banks. As much as you want to say, well, they're only going to go up Natalya versus Sasha. No. The way they're promoting this, they're trying to do such dissension between Team Bad that it makes it impossible to tell who the real challenger is, at least by my perspective. Really, I can't tell who Sasha's going up against right now. Because really, she's made Naomi look like an idiot. She had to save Naomi again. And then she's gone up against Natalya. And it looks like they're going to do something with Natalya, But then you don't know if Naomi's going to do something. And that makes Naomi look like she's going to get buried. Badly buried. And I don't want to see that. And this is the reason why I probably will do a debate of the week eventually. If it's not this week, it's eventually going to happen because they are so devaluing these two women. I'm not against Sasha, ladies and gentlemen. I actually like Sasha. I saw the, well, not interview, the game session between Sasha and Xavier Woods on Xavier Woods' Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube. So I think she has a great character. I think she's a very sweet person. Sweet. I love her. If she said, hey, you want to be my girlfriend, my boyfriend, I'd say yes, take me, I'll be your girlfriend too. That's how sweet she is. She just gives it off. And I'm not against her. She's a good wrestler, she can talk. But the reason that she's getting pushed is not because she's Snoop Dogg's cousin. It's this. The person out of all three that needs to be pushed the most could be Tamina because she is Superfly's daughter. One of the greatest legends in history of wrestling. So if it was about blood, Tamina should have already had the title already, and she didn't need to suck dick to get it. Anyway, sorry. I don't mean to talk so nasty, but I had to say that. Last thing, which is all about this entire review, the Bray Wyatt segment. I have no problem with him talking. Bray's a great talker. He's good in the ring. But the problem I see is this. They have not promoted him at all. I've already said numerous times they have buried his ass. And no matter how many times they keep bringing him up to give him time and give him FaceTime on TV and let him talk in segments, he's still buried. And when you see this segment, you go, if you care about this, what the hell did I just watch? I just saw The Undertaker and Kane return, which is understandable. They had to return. I said this last week. Kane and Undertaker needed a return. And they did. But here's the thing. They just destroyed the Wyatt family, including Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman already dead. Done. So you took out Luke, Eric, Braun, and then you chokeslam, both of them chokeslam Bray Wyatt in the center of the ring. What now? Instead of letting the Wyatt family and Bray begin to get their asses kicked and they run away. And Bray does what he does normally. He shows his interest, his fascination with violence, his enjoyment of how he's going to destroy you. No. Instead of having him run away, he got his ass kicked completely. Why do you care about Survivor Series now? And they're going to do it. It's obvious they're going to build up the Survivor Series. From my perspective, it's going to be a 4-on-2 handicap match. The Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt. I'm doing it backwards because this makes no freaking sense. The WWE is being bizarro right now. They're in bizarro world. Why would you choke slam and destroy an entire faction in one segment? One segment. You're not doing well, WWE. Your numbers have not gone beyond 3 million in the last couple of months. It's barely been hovering at 3, and it's been dropping from 3 to 2, and I believe it's been between 2 and 1. I could be wrong about the numbers, but the WWE's numbers have been terrible. And when you look at this, you really needed something special. The Undertaker and Kane are special, and you just utilized them in a squash at the end of your show, 2 weeks away from your pay-per-view. Instead of letting them beat the crap out of them and they escape, like when The Undertaker and Kane got their butts kicked and they were knocked to the ground by Braun Strowman, the minute they sat both up, you could have Bray Wyatt run from them. It would have been more dramatic and more surprising. Or if they had to beat him up a little bit more, he could have beat him up, they could have ran out of the ring, and Bray didn't need to be chokeslammed by both of them. This was stupid. You just blew your wad, WWE. Why do I care about watching Survivor Series now, knowing Bray's already gotten his ass kicked, along with Braun Strowman, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan? That's 4 guys that have already gotten their asses kicked easily. Why do I want to watch a 4-on-2 handicap match? Because that's what I feel like is going to happen. They're not going to call in the Big Show. They're not going to call in the great Khali. They're not going to call in Giant Gonzalez to be in their corner. They're not going to call in Seth Rollins. He's hurt. And they're not going to call in Undertaker unless they're going to call in Sting. Like I said, if they call in Sting, it would make the perfect sense. But if they don't, who cares? So this is kind of running a little longer than I wanted. I'm kind of ranted here. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane view. Please give me a comment below. I will be getting my Seth Rollins debate of the week out. Watch for that. I might do the Naomi video. I don't know yet. But if you want me to do it, leave a comment below and I'll do it. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace out.